So it's my pleasure to have you here. I hope that we can make this a fun time, a heartwarming time, an inspiring time. And I want us to start by setting an intention. I hope you can set the intention that you will have a good time here, that you'll be on your mental fingertips ready to grasp any great ideas or dive into some nice feelings. Let's also set the intention that we're a group of people hanging out. So I hope we have a nice time together, that we can encourage each other and support each other and maybe make some friends, or maybe be inspired or inspire each other. And I want to set a bigger intention as well. I run these sessions because I hope that you get some great tools. I hope you walk away with excellent relaxation techniques or attitudes that can bring you peace or happiness. I hope you get perspectives that make things a lot easier. I hope you learn techniques to be better at whatever it is you're wanting to do. But the reason I am excited about all of those things is put it all together, and I hope even more for you. I want you to be a mental artist, making your life beautiful. I want you to be a force for good in the universe. I want you to... ultimately, tools for helping ourselves can help here and there, but I hope to light a fire inside of you that you are just choosing awesome in every moment, whether that's awesome peace or awesome excitement or wonderful compassion. When you're playing sport, I want you to imagine being the best sports person you can. When you're being artistic, I want you to let yourself imagine beautiful art. Let that guide you. When you're with friends, I want you to find or envisage the part of you that's as kind, as wonderful, as playful, as awesome as you can. I want to light that fire that you are driven and inspired and guided by your most wonderful part of you at all times. And I hope to give you some awesome tools to help you make that best part of you be strong and be easy and to feel great. So that's my intention for these sessions, and I'm just going to give each of us a moment to set your own intention. So Scary, if you'd like to grab a seat, you're welcome to join us.
Thank you, but continue.
All right. To those of you out on the live stream, it's good to see you there. Please feel free to write in the chat. I hope to see you and try and make you feel like you're here, part of us as well. And those of you here in the temple, especially those of you who are new, like I was just saying, these sessions are for you. I want it to be as awesome for you as possible. So please ask questions, please share, please engage, and let's make it as real and powerful for you as we can. So I actually didn't set a topic for today. It's been a big week, so perhaps we can look at the intense thing that happened for me, but I also just wanted to keep it open for everyone who's here for discussion and exploration. So one thing that I found is really an invaluable tool when it comes to meditation and philosophies of the mind is how to deal with hard times. Found out my son this week is we had to take him to the emergency room, and then we found out some other stuff. I don't need to go into any details, but it's possibly going to be a lot more surgery or things. And I've just found myself just keep coming back to be in the present moment. What can I do next? What can I feel next? And that has helped me to stay calm and be able to just feel like I'm making clear decisions and stay peaceful in a situation where I could be very scared or crying a lot. Sorry I haven't really prepared today's session. It's been a big week. Exploring how we can use mindfulness and meditation to deal with hardship, people passing, things changing. That could be a topic that we could explore today if you're interested. Or perhaps you have something going on or some question about life or about meditation that you'd like us to explore. Tonight is for all of you. So I'm going to give us a minute or two if there's any questions or discussion. And after a little bit of getting started, we'll do our beginning meditation and then we'll dive into our main discussion. Does anyone have any questions or topics you'd like us to explore tonight? Onyx?
I got a question. What were your thoughts about these, about your hardships?
Well, my first thought is that I want to explore more of, if that's interesting to you, I definitely want to explore more of that during our main discussion. Yeah. But the main things that came to mind was reality is full of chaos. There's things happening to everyone, and the best thing you can do is always ask yourself, well, how do I want to respond? And sure, there was moments where I was like, I've invested so much into him, I hope he's going to be okay. I've also found myself seeing him through a richer lens, seeing that he's an individual with his own hopes and dreams and his life ahead of him. I mean, I always saw that, but I've been able to feel that much more powerfully. I had a lot of thoughts about how to bring peace and comfort to my wife and to the other people in our community. Yeah, I think that's the top level thoughts. But if you're more interested, we can explore in our deeper conversation. Does anyone else have any other questions or topics you might like us to cover tonight? You can ask before the meditation, or maybe they'll come up during the meditation. Onyx, did you raise your hands? For anyone that can't see, Onyx is typing. All right, well, I'd love to hear what you had to ask or share later on. If you feel like it, please type it in when you're ready. Well, if no one's got anything else they want to ask, let's begin with our opening meditation. Can I see with a wave who's practiced meditation before? Alright, so some of us.
Does yoga count?
Probably
I
depends.
have practiced yoga.
I think it depends on the style of yoga.
And I did meditation before.
Okay, great. Yeah. So meditation means a lot of different things to different people and different groups. I like to appreciate all of those different styles, and I try to share the ones that I think are most real and most effective. And many of the meditations we do here are guided meditations where I will suggest things to contemplate or concentrate on. And sometimes we have silent meditation where we set a practice and then everyone just does that practice. So yeah, tonight we're going to start with a guided meditation, and we're going to just see where it takes us. So I invite everybody to get comfortable. And as I say that, I sit back in my seat. Perhaps you're sitting on a meditation cushion. And if so, I invite you to adjust your knees, sit up, stretch the spine up. And wherever you're sitting, now just notice your posture. As I do that, it makes me move the left side of my chest to the side and the right side to the side, and just making little adjustments as I feel myself settling in to find a posture that is strong and peaceful. Let's take a couple of strong, deep breaths, and as you feel your lungs expand and your chest expand, have that idea of a strong, peaceful posture. If you notice that adjusts your neck or your head, that's great. If you notice it adjusts your arms, that's great. If you notice it just changes how you feel, that's great. Just feeling your posture, deep breaths, imagining a strong and peaceful posture. If your eyes are still open, I invite you to just let the eyelids relax and gently close. And then you can feel the muscles around your eyes. Feel the sensations around your cheeks, and your eyelids, your eyebrows. If you're wearing a VR headset, you can feel the headset on the face, and the strap in the back, maybe the strap over the top. And then just imagine the rest of your face, the rest of your head, relaxing with each breath you take. I really like feeling into my shoulders, especially when I take a deep breath and I can feel how the expansion of my lungs affects the muscles in my shoulders. So take some deep breaths and feel how your shoulders adjust with those deep breaths. Some people like to imagine the pressure from their lungs is like an internal massage on the shoulders. And then feel down into your arms and let them be at peace. And if you're wondering why are we relaxing the different parts of our body, many people find that letting their body relaxed changes their state of mind and takes them into deeper and more beautiful meditation. So as you take some deep breaths, just let yourself feel again your face relaxing, your head relaxing, and your shoulders relaxing. You may also like to notice that you've made relaxation. You can make all kinds of feelings. Maybe the idea of feeling like lightness and floating. Some of you may start to notice that. Some of you may feel different parts of your body just disappearing. Some of you may find as your body becomes peace, how you feel becomes a deeper peace than you ever knew. So imagine this relaxation and peace. It's just moving down through your body, through your lungs, through your chest, down through your arms. It's like a scanner just taking this peace down through the body, down through the elbows, through the stomach, through the forearms, the fingers. If you notice some really nice feelings in your fingers, you can just enjoy them for a moment. You might start to notice those really nice sensations moving through the whole of your body. You take the nice sensations into the palm of your hand. Bring your attention back up through your arms. Feel the nice feelings down through your torso. And then feel your legs, your knees, your calves, your ankles, and your feet. And as you breathe peacefully, just enjoy the peace that you've made, the calm that you've made. Enjoy that you are practicing a deeper peace and calm as it's becoming part of you. You could ask yourself, what kind of feelings would I like to practice? What would I like to cultivate more of inside myself? Maybe you have ideas of confidence or happiness or deeper patience and peace. Maybe you feel stillness and presence. But today, we're going to cultivate compassion and caring. So I want you to start by thinking about yourself. And I'm going to say some suggestions and just let yourself contemplate them as you wish. You could imagine saying them to yourself, feeling them to yourself. I hope you are okay. I give you love and care and support. I cherish how precious your attention is, your mind is, your feelings are. How important it is to fill yourself up with self-confidence, with love, with peace, with happiness. I care about you. And as you meditate on self-care, just play with that in your mind. Do you want to make it feel more beautiful? Or do you want to make it feel stronger? Do you want to contemplate it intellectually? Do you want to see ways that you'd like to talk to yourself? Just keep your attention and your feelings in that idea of self-care, self-compassion. Now I'm going to use my situation to cultivate something in us that I then hope enriches your life in so many beautiful ways. So I want you just to bring your attention to me and my son. And if you'd like to, you could think to yourself, I hope they're okay. I hope they feel loved and supported. I hope they know that they're precious. And then I invite you to think of the people that are closest in your life. And look at them through the eyes of feeling how precious they are. If they could be gone next week, how much love you would give them right now. How much care and kindness. And so as we practice this kindness meditation, we're going to cultivate a state of making every moment with those we care about beautiful and precious. So I invite you to bring to mind one of your closest family or one of your best friends. And in whichever way you'd like to imagine loving them, just imagine that. Maybe you're giving them a hug, or holding them in a cuddle. Maybe you're giving them a smile, or a laugh, or a high five. Maybe you're sitting, meditating together. And as you hold this person in your attention, let yourself imagine, let yourself feel the perfect kind of care that you'd like to give them. For me right now, I'm imagining if my little boy was gone next week, how much love I want to give him in every one of those moments. But then also that I can carry that love through to every friend, every interaction for my life. And I invite you to dive into deep feelings of care. Contemplate in a way that makes it powerful and precious, so that you can grow that and carry it with you. So this one close person that you have in mind, maybe you could imagine if you only had limited time with them, all you'd say to them, all you'd love with them. A more traditional question in these compassion meditations is, if they were hurting, how much you'd care, how much you'd wish for them to stop hurting, what you'd do to help them stop hurting. Just let yourself deepen the care. Acknowledge how powerful the caring is there. And then I invite you to bring to mind another friend or family member. And as you hold them in mind, dive straight into just giving them, opening up the floodgates. Let your care and kindness pour from your heart into whoever's come to mind. If you'd like to make the compassion more light-hearted, more playful, more laughter, that's fine. Whatever you're envisaging, whatever you're practicing, let it be rich and beautiful. If a second person hasn't come to mind yet, let yourself just choose the first person that comes to mind. And you can imagine having beautiful patience with them. And appreciating all they have to offer. You can imagine how you'd like to talk with them. Now remember through this meditation whatever peak moments of care you found. And imagine practicing even more care with each moment, with each breath. Almost everyone is precious to somebody. And if you make every interaction you have with someone be filled with love, it's more beautiful for you. And who knows how important or helpful or moving it can be for others. And then I invite you to expand your imagination. I want you to think of all of your closest friends and family. And feel something shifting inside of you. That you are shifting into the most loving, caring, wise version of yourself as you look at your closest friends and family and see them through the eyes of your most compassionate, supportive, kind, wonderful you. Then bring your attention back to yourself. And imagine thinking and talking to yourself from the most kind, helpful, supportive, the most wonderful perspective that you can imagine. Take some deeper breaths and expand that kindness. Empower that wisdom. And as we'll gently come out of the meditation, I just invite you to think of the other people here and the meditation that they just had. You can let yourself feel warmth and positivity towards everyone here. And then often in this community, after the meditation, we just have some time for people to share any nice feelings they experienced, or any insights, or the feeling of anything shifting, anything positive that you'd like to share from the practice. So even if it's something small or something big and beautiful, I'd love to hear from everybody now. How was that meditation for you?
I really liked it. And I just want to say, first of all, that I definitely wanted to send some um, peaceful and healing thoughts and energy yours and your family's way.
Thank you.
Something I was dealing with earlier today was I found out that some of my family went out and uh, they were doing something fun that I would have loved to have been a part of. And my initial reaction was, you know, why didn't I get invited? Um, and because I don't get to see them often, but I think instead of kind of blaming them, uh, I just need to make myself more available.
Mm. seems like a good insight. How did it feel?
It felt a lot better than blaming somebody else.
Mm. I had a similar
Now it's
thing.
just a matter of putting it into practice.
Mm. Yeah, what does it mean to make yourself more available?
Um, well, I definitely could talk to them more often than I do, and just let them know that, if they want to get together at any point, that I'm available to do that.
Mm. You hoped that they had invited you. Perhaps you might also want to invite them to something.
True, I could also do that.
I actually had something similar in the meditation. I was thinking of friends and family that don't come to these classes or have never tried them, even after I've invited many times. When I was announcing about my son, this is the first time I've told anyone other than people in my house, and I was wondering who would see that I had said that. And I want so much to have a community of care and support and awesomeness, and I truly believe that you put together a bunch of these classes and practice them, and they will wildly improve everyone's life. And I was thinking, why so many of my friends have never tried? And similar to you blaming your family, I guess I was having a similar or comparable feeling. And I was trying to shift that into focusing on the people who do want to spend time. My wife just wrote on the live stream, but we are here. Okay, some love hearts. And my housemate also wrote, "Hi everyone." So I guess I was focusing on the people who are engaged and with me, and the other people that are further away. Maybe I could find ways to be more open to them, or maybe I can focus on the finding more people who do want to be engaged in, I don't necessarily want to say my life, the things that I value, an enlightened world. That's the kind of community and friendships that I want to have. So I was envisaging how my most loved, cared for self would be in the world, to have the kind of friendships and interactions that would enrich me and hopefully enrich the people I interact with the most. Kit Kat, if you're ever in California, we can go do something fun if you want. I'd love to hang out with you.
Heck yeah.
Mm. Thanks for sharing.
Mm-hmm.
I hope it's okay that I then reflected it back on me. It's been a pretty intense week.
It sounds like it.
But I do want to say that I'm so grateful for meditation and choosing the states of mind, because even though it's been a lot to deal with, I've been mostly more enriched by it, loving him more, caring more, thinking about what's important, a deeper love for how I want our family and our community to be. And I wish the same for all of you. Whenever there's hard times, that it actually just draws more beauty and wisdom and strength out of you, so you can deal with those times with that beauty and strength, and then hopefully also carry more of that beauty and strength on into the future. And my hope is that we don't have to wait just for those hard times, that we can find that beauty and strength with power and passion before we need it. When you hear someone else is going through something, you find it. When you envisage how the world needs more compassion, you find it. My hope is that the fire starts inside of you, that creating beautiful love and patience and openness and connection, that you grow that every day, and you meditate regularly and make awesome inside of you grow. My wife just says she thinks we've been rocking it, that acceptance is maybe one of the most powerful tools. So yeah, as well as cultivating love and strength, one thing that's really helped me is that when our mind is wrestling with things, there is suffering. When we accept this is what is, then there is freedom. We can then choose, what am I going to focus on? What do I choose to feel now? How do I choose to communicate? And Marlies just said, being in reality. When you engage your mind with the reality that is, instead of your expectations or what you think should be, when you're really in reality, it lets your mind engage with reality in the most empowered way possible. Zane, thanks for joining us. We just did a compassion meditation, and I just asked if anyone wanted to share a nice moment they had, or an insight, or just how they felt. Yeah, just opening it up to everyone who's here. Would anyone else like to share? So I'm actually a pretty open person. I think I would just talk about everything. And when I went to start sharing with you about what's going on with my son, I remembered some people were like, oh, don't just talk about that stuff openly. So I really cut down the story. So my wife's watching. I hope what I said is alright with you. But yeah. But I do really love the power of kindness meditation. You know, if someone you really care about was in danger, you would just do something to help them. Or if they were hurting and you had some way to help, you'd do it. Or even if you didn't have some way, you'd probably try, or you'd really want to. And if we can tap into that powerful love and craft it in a way that it's beautiful and it's overflowing from us to people all the time, it will drive you. It will make you feel more vibrant. You'll have more kindness and love flowing from you. It'll be a positive impact on people in ways you don't even realize. Cultivating compassion is such a gift. Anyone on the live stream or anyone else here, would you like to share a nice moment that you had in the meditation? Well, Kit-Kat, I think I'd like us to explore that idea of making ourselves more available. I think it's something that impacts all of us, as in, what do we say to those we care about, and how do they know how much we want to see them, or what we'd like our relationship to be like, or what our expectations are. And I like to remind myself that when we're born, we kind of know nothing. It's everything about how we relate and how we think about relationships and communication. It's every one of us has just picked up different ideas and attitudes along the way about relating in general, and about each person in their life or each group in their life. And so you might expect some members of your family to treat you a certain way, but we really have no idea how they think about you, or how they think about friendship, or how they think about family. And it's only by having those conversations and sharing how you think about it that they can then understand you, and that hopefully you can then create some kind of shared way of thinking about your relationship. And yes, sometimes some friendships or some family or relationship just happens to work really well in a way that brings out the best in both of you, but sometimes it doesn't. And by talking about it and making it positive intentionally, we can shape the kind of interactions and the kind of friendships that we want. And not everyone likes talking about that kind of stuff, but I think you'd be surprised. Most people welcome being told that you care about them, or that I don't think anyone wants to be blamed for not hanging out with you enough, but being invited that, hey, I like you and I'd like to see you more. I think most people would welcome that. So that's a very general idea about talking to our friends and family about what we'd like to have things to be like. And it's up to you to think of the people that are important to you and how you'd like it to be, or maybe first understanding how they'd like it to be. And all I can do really is point the way and hope that you take the time to envisage what that would be like, and imagine that conversation going really well, and then reaching out and trying to have those conversations. Sometimes I do that here when I mention that I'd like this to be a really supportive community, and I hope it's a place that people keep coming to until the world's enlightened. We create a more and more enlightened community here, a happier, more empowered you, and more empowered you, and more empowered you, and a more empowered you, and a more empowered you, and a more empowered me. And we just keep helping each other to be more and more awesome until the whole world's here in the temple. That's, well, my actual hope is that the ideas of empowerment and explicitly practicing what we want, I want to see that reaching out to as many people as possible. And I hope that we as a community stay friends and help each other to have friendships based on that, and have a place that you want to keep hanging out. I hope that this is a community that you love, and that we can make it welcoming, that when new people arrive, they're also excited to explore what is massive peace like. What is it like to transform new levels of happiness or confidence in ourselves? And what would it be like to be friends with a bunch of people who've really made great improvements in those areas? So I've said that about our community a bunch of times, but if you're ever hanging out with me and you want to talk about how you feel about the community, or how you feel about our friendship or your friendship with other people, and how we can make the community better for you, I'd love to hear that, because it's so important. It's so important as friends. And that makes me reflect upon when my little boy is doing something that might upset or hurt somebody. And I hope that my reactions are always infinitely patient and caring and loving. But I'm sure sometimes the way I respond isn't profoundly awesome, and there might be moments that my little boy doesn't feel good about him, even though I'm trying. And then I also think of adults and friends when we get frustrated with things, or expectations aren't met, or I'm just reflecting upon the ideal love and compassion, and then these other moments of reaction. And it makes me feel that I want to meditate on those moments and practice how would I like to respond when my little boy does something that it's not up to my expectations. How would I like to communicate when someone who's close to me does something that's not up to my expectations? Or any variation of not up to my expectations. How do I want to respond in those moments? How can I fill those moments with love and kindness, strength, or purpose, or whatever it is you'd choose? You know, being mindful in each moment is great. And if you can practice that, then in every moment you're always just being your best self. That's great. We can help the process along by priming ourselves. Hey, what do I want to do in those kind of situations? So when those situations come up, we're ready with the feelings that, or the attitudes, or the behaviors that we've practiced. And that idea of practicing can actually apply to so many areas in life. You know, I just mentioned practicing how you want to respond with friends or interactions. In many meditation practices, people rehearse how they want to respond to tragedy, when someone passes away, or when there's sickness. How do they want to accept it? How do they want to be ready for it? And I know that the practice that I've done has been really helpful for me this week. I was ready to just remember feeling calm, feeling centered, step by step, what's the best thing to do? Because I'd practiced having that attitude. I'd imagined being in bad situations and practiced responding. And I really want to encourage all of you, whether it's 5 minutes a day or an hour a day, to sit in meditation, make wonderful feelings in yourself, and then from that powerful, calm part of you, practice. Practice how you want to be in your communications. Practice how you'd like to... Well, one moment. Hey guys, could you go just a little further away? We can hear you in here. Thanks. And, just a little further, please. Thanks.
Should I get the chase or
Hmm.
should I push way out of 4 signals?
One moment.
We cigars.
Hey guys, could you just go?
It's really hard. It's
Guys,
really
could you just
hard.
go up
Oh,
the
sorry,
hill?
we're
Up the
having.
hill is far enough away.
Oh,
Thank you.
okay. Sorry.
No worries. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. So, practicing isn't just helpful with how we communicate or how we deal with hard situations. We can also bring that into our attitudes to work, or our attitude to meditation, or I mentioned earlier, being great at sport, or being as expressive as possible with art. Practicing how you'd like to be is something that can help in every facet of your life. Practicing that you choose the salad and you love healthy food. Practicing that you play with expressive fun. Practicing that you do sport or exercise with drive and energy. Practicing that this specific skill, this is how I'm going to do it. Training my mind to do it really well. Giving yourself time to practice and rehearse. And if you practice something repeatedly, I think you'll be amazed how quickly, massively, it gets better, it feels easier. So I hope each of you has some time each day in meditation and practice. And I hope each of you chooses some things that will be really helpful for you and tries to imagine how good it would feel when that part of you is transformed. And lets yourself imagine your best, the ideal person. How would it be to be just totally at ease every time you met someone? Actually let yourself imagine how good it would feel. Just have a good time every conversation you had. Or how good would it feel when some tragedies happened and you step into cherishing the person and filling everyone up around you with calm and with love, and you just bring strength to everybody. And as you make these strong practices in ourselves, it overflows into our life in beautiful ways. Do either of you have any, or anyone on the live stream as well, any questions or something you want to share? Pops, how was the meditation for you? For those,
It was nice.
tell us more.
I guess I was sort of in a state in between halfway meditating and meditating. So I was just trying to focus on getting into like a deeper meditation, but I had a little bit of a hard time. Um, I've kind of been addicted to this, or not addicted to, but I've been playing this video game online a lot lately that's I've been thinking about maybe a little bit too much. And the game keeps popping into my head when I try to focus and wanting to play the game.
Oh, thanks for sharing. I've definitely had times where I played a game enough that when I closed my eyes to relax, I would see the game. And it reminds me the things that we practice a lot just become part of our brain. I also really noticed it when I didn't watch any movies or TV for a decade, and everything I put into my mind was just the most enlightening things I could choose. And then I started watching some shows with some people just as a way to hang out with them. And then I go to meditate, and some of the, there's a lot of shows out there that are violent or have kinds of feelings you'd never choose. And then those things would just pop into my mind in meditation. And I was like, wow, my brain really does just like deal with whatever I'm feeding it. So for me, that was a reminder to try and feed my mind just the stuff that is the world that I want, or is the me that I want. And if you want this game, if it brings you happiness and you love it, then I would suggest when it's meditation time, treat those moments where it pops into your mind as extra reason, extra drive to focus on the breath. I said before, when there's some tragedy that happens, I hope that makes you draw on extra strength, extra love, extra peace and goodness to give to others. And if you're meditating and stuff keeps coming up, I hope that drives you to think, all right, let me find my extra strength just for a few minutes now. What is it to really dive into the peace? There's a monastery that's, I'm not even sure which one it is, but I've heard the story a few times. This famous monastery in the middle of Bangkok. It's a wildly loud city, and this monastery is on a very busy corner. But supposedly so many people get into a state of single-pointed meditation and have profound change. And it's because to meditate there, you have to push your attention. And the monk who was telling me about it originally was saying, well, you can go off and meditate in the forest where everything's peaceful. It's easy to relax there. And if you're training your mind to relax when all this other stuff's going on, that is like weightlifting for your mind. So when you go to meditate and this video comes up, I want you to just think of like this strength. Just draw on your extra strength. Oh, yeah. Bringing myself in. If it comes up again, that's great. Draw on extra strength.
That makes sense. Yeah, I feel like so I definitely think there's a balance, because obviously, like you were saying, you had friends that wanted to like engage in those activities, and that's like their form of friendship and how you build friendship with people. And then I think there's like value that comes from listening to or viewing different types of stories and like what you can learn from them over time. But then you're definitely right by the same token that like those things can arise in the mind. I don't want to sound judgmental or anything, but I do feel like refraining from it altogether is like a little bit of an extreme, which that's fine. Like
you could say
everyone
that,
has their own path.
but the reality is, in the time when I was doing that, my mind was amazing. It was a decade of uninterrupted bliss. You can call that extreme. Bring it on. It was extreme bliss and ease. So yeah, I'm going to say that it's definitely worth it. You could also say, it's all relative. Imagine a world where people were careful with their mind, and then what that world would say when they look at the kind of media that people watch here, they would then say, oh my God, this is extremely crazy. Yeah. So, it's all relative. Everything you do has different results.
Yeah, that's fair. I try to think about things from many different angles. Like I think about how the mind has developed, based on like our childhood like experiences and what we're exposed to very young, I think can have a big impact on like how the brain is for the future. Give like a more lighthearted example would be like language, how our mind is very um I think from my understanding, what I've heard is like very malleable and like plastic to understanding like and learning a new language when we're very young, and then as we get older that skill gap or that ability to develop the like the nuances and the high level speaking in that language becomes harder as we age. But it's all speculation. I'm not a psychologist.
Yeah, I've heard that a lot, and I'm guessing it's true. Like, little kids just pick up languages so fast. I've also heard of people who go to a different country and just completely immerse themselves in it. They won't even talk their original language, and they have like wild improvements in learning that language. But I don't know how you'd compare those two. Hey Ray, welcome. We're just talking about how malleable our minds are and how different experiences and different thoughts change how we are and how we feel, and then how we can deal with different situations in life.
Yeah, but to just loop back around, yeah, so I got introduced to the game that I was playing. Why I was relating it is because I got introduced to the game that I was playing through some old friends that basically messaged me and were like, we want to play this game with you, Popped. So then I started playing it with them, and then I was like, oh wow, this is really fun. And then I was like, well, I want to get better at the game, so when I play with them, I'm not like a hindrance to their team. I can be like an asset to their team. So
Yeah.
yeah.
To be clear, the shows I was watching didn't actually lead to fruitful relationships with the family I was watching it with. So just doing stuff with people isn't always good. But if you're hanging out with friends and having a really good time with them and it's really fun, then that's great. I'm curious what the game is now.
The game was called Chivalry 2.
Oh, I haven't heard of it. You just reminded me of something. You tried the game and then you wanted to get better and better. Someone gave my son a Rubik's Cube when we got vaccinated. They were giving out different toys to the kids, and he got a Rubik's Cube. And then I thought, well, I should really learn how to solve it so I can show him. I don't want things in our life that he doesn't understand. I want him to have mastery of everything around him. And so I learned how to do it. And it's a few hours or more. But then now I could do it in 4 minutes. And then I was like, the world record's 3 seconds. Maybe I can try and do it in 3.5 minutes. Now I've been putting time into doing this puzzle faster and teaching people around me just because that influence was there. Maybe that's enriched our life. Maybe it's fun. Maybe it's a great brain teaser. I'm not really sure. But I think we should always be aware that the things we bring into our life, they may stick around. They may take us in a different path. And, trying to choose which are the things, what are the paths that we think will bring the most joy, love, goodness, enrichment to our future. It's a good question to ask yourself every now and then.
That makes me think I want to get a cheap instrument and learn how to get to like a decent level on it, and then go sit in like public parks and just like play and just see like what kind of people would approach me and what kind of conversations I might have. I think it would be really fun.
That sounds like a great idea. Absolutely. Please let us know how that story goes. One other response to what we just talked about, and then I want to try and bring it back to our theme today of compassion and practice. I grew up in a world where people played a lot of pool, like 8 ball, and at some point in my meditation, it just hit me, don't play that anymore. It doesn't really make sense as to why, but just felt really clear that that's a change I should make. And there was a crew that I'd often go out with, and they also often went to 8-ball clubs where there's a lot of tables. And we'd go, and then I just couldn't join in. So then I'd have to go and like explore what else was around. And I made lots of different friends while I was doing that. And I'm certain that by stopping that behavior, it then opened me up to lots of different pathways in the world. I've now traveled the world. Maybe I would have just stayed in that little neighborhood forever. I don't know. But it definitely was a very clear turning point in my social world at that time by choosing what activities I would engage in and which ones I wouldn't. Anyway, let's bring it back to this idea of practice, and in particular, compassion and caring practice.
Sure.
I think I just want to see if anyone has a question or comment about that, and then I want to finish with a little caring meditation again.
Well, one comment, one thought that came to mind when y'all were talking was how easy it is for us to forget, and something I think we definitely need to be mindful of is just like our body responds to what we feed it, so does our mind.
Yeah.
And then to go back to what we were talking about earlier, when we were talking about conversations with people, reminded me of how many times I have argued with people while driving alone in my car. And then if ever given the chance to actually have that conversation with that person, they would never follow my script. So you can't expect people to respond how you want them to, because they've got their own thoughts, their own things going on. And one thing I do remember taking from one of my last jobs as a manager is when I was training people, the first thing I would always ask them is, how do you learn? Because everybody learns differently, whether it's by seeing me do it, or me telling you and giving you the opportunity, or giving you instruction as you do it. Everybody learns differently. It's just a matter of having that conversation. And
you seem like a really good manager.
I tried. But it's it all came around to thinking how good this practice has been for giving us the opportunity to have these conversations with ourselves first, because that's where it starts. And then we can apply those to other parts of our lives. So thank you for that.
It makes me reflect. I've found that I learn by doing things, and I learn when I'm mentally rehearsing doing things. How do I express that, or how do I want to do that? And I rehearse it. Then I wonder, and I've been such an advocate for everybody. Rehearse how you want to be. Rehearse how you want to feel. See yourself doing it. It's such a good question. How do you learn? Maybe if I heard more different ways that people learn, we could incorporate those into other practices people can do to transform themselves. How do you learn Kit Kat?
I usually learn by watching someone do it and then trying myself, usually flubbing my way through it the first couple times. Um, yeah.
Yeah, I also really love watching someone do something. If I see how they do it well, it feels easier for me to try and copy something.
Mhm. But that's another aspect to that I had to learn was um, if somebody learned by watching me, keep in mind just because not to expect to do it exactly like me. They're going to develop their own way of doing it.
Mm.
Which, as long as it's, not like surgery, it's fine.
Mm. Does anyone else out there on the live stream or anyone else have something else they want to say? All right. Oh, Pops, was that something?
No, it's just breathing deeply.
All right, well, let's do that. Everybody take a deep breath. Feel your shoulders and let them drop down and relax. Feel your legs. Let them get into a posture that feels really comfortable. Let your arms be at peace. Take a deep breath and expand your lungs, expand your chest. We're going to focus on our breath just for a little while, just to do some mental weightlifting. Try to hear your breath and feel your breath with all your attention. Imagine if everything else in your consciousness became perfect stillness, and all that was left was the peacefulness of your breath and your whole mind flowing in the rising and the falling of the breath. Just going deeper and deeper into stillness. Every part of your mind is focusing on the breath. Just breathing. Just breathing. For the next 3 breaths, play a little game with yourself. Every moment in the breath. At any moment you come off, come back as fast and as powerfully as you can for 3 whole breaths. And then just keep doing those breaths. And then set the intention to give yourself care and love. To practice the kinds of feelings that you would love. To practice being the way that you would love to be. And I hope you practice this at least 3 times a day. You can just set the intention how often you would like to practice. And make yourself feel the ways that you love and transform things in yourself and your skills and your relationships into ways that you would love. We'll take a few more deep breaths and just let yourself feel or meditate or experience whatever arises. If you'd like to, you can bring your hands to your heart and let's just dedicate the goodness that we've cultivated. Let's cherish it. Let's grow it. The caring and the kindness and the love that we felt. Let's cherish it. Let's grow it. Let's express it often. May you fill your life with beautiful caring, wonderful patience, sweet, sweet cherishing. And as you come out of the meditation, just let yourself enjoy and appreciate whatever good feelings or whatever good transformations from the meditation. Thank you all for being here, and I hope to see you all